Hello and good evening from Benilde-St. Margaret's. I'm Bruce Holman along with Tom Whitlock, and we have a great one tonight. The Benilde-St. Margaret Red Knights coming into this game at 7-0. The Wayzata Trojans 5-3, but don't let that record deceive you because they lost to some really tough teams, and they're on a 5-game winning streak. So we've got a great Benilde team this year. I'm excited to watch them play, Tom.
Yeah, they've got, they're young, starting 3 sophomores and 2 juniors, but they have some quality wins. A great comeback win against De La Salle, a ranked team. So they're coming in with a lot of confidence, I think. And Wayzata winning 5 in a row, also coming in with a lot of confidence. Both of these teams heading into conference play next week, so this is a great warm-up as they get into their conference schedule.
Yeah, we have a great crowd. Starting lineups for the Red Knights will be Jaden Daisy, 6'4" junior. He averages 15 points per game. Jalen Donnelly, he's a 6'2" sophomore averaging 15. Caden Wells, a 6'5" forward averaging 5. Abu Kita, 6'5" forward, sophomore averaging 11. Jalen Wilson, 6'8", sophomore, averaging 19.5 points per game. For Wayzata Trojans, Hayden Tibbetts, their star guard, averaging 15 points per game. He leads the team in scoring. You have Jake Schmidt, number 10, averaging 11. Number 21, Spencer Hall, 9 points per game. Watch for Jackson McAndrew. He's getting some college offers. He averages 14 points per game. And Isaiah Habte, number 25, he averages 6 points per game. So looking forward to a great matchup as we get ready to tip off here from Haven Center. Benilde St. Margaret Red Knights will be in the red uniforms. Wayzata in the white with blue and gold trim. McAndrew against Abukita. Controlled by Wayzata. Tibbetts brings it into the front court for the Trojans. And the 3 is up and good. So how quick they score.
I think that's one of the keys to the game for Benilde's guards. Wayzata likes to slash to the basket and kick it out to the perimeter for open threes. So they're going to have to extend out and protect that perimeter.
Tibbetts, he stops and pops. So quickly, Schmidt and Tibbetts have given the Trojans a 5-point lead. And again, the Red Knights team has some very young team. They've got 3 sophomores and 2 juniors, but these sophomores are amazing players, as well as the junior. There's a 3 put up off the mark by Donnelly. Tibbetts for Wayzata takes it down the lane all the way to the basket and in. Great drive by Hayden Tibbetts. He has 4 in the game. And it's 7-0, not the way that Damian wanted his team to start this game.
No, he did a nice job of splitting the double team there and getting to the basket. Benilde has shown resilience, being down 10 at the half to De La Salle and coming back to win that game handily. So they've been here before. They just need to get settled down.
Wells got the first 2 points of the game for the Red Knights. Here's a 3. One of the rare misses so far early on for the Trojans. And the Red Knights back into the front court. 7-2 the score. Just underway. Along the baseline, turnarounder doesn't go. The rebound, battle for it on the floor, and the Red Knights last touch it as it goes out of bounds. It'll be Trojans basketball. Good crowd here tonight, and I think it's, you can see people still piling in.
We got the band here, so great environment.
You see Damian Johnson. You saw the head coach of Benilde. The head coach is Brian Schnettler for Wayzata. Pass back up top. McAndrew. Tibbetts, the shot does not fall, and here comes the Red Knights. Trailing by 5. You can see a great defense by the Trojans.
going to be hard taking McAndrews to the basket.
You can see it's tight to the basket, and we're going to get a foul called on Wayzata, the first foul of the game.
There's good patient ball movement there, waiting to find an opening in the defense.
Foul called on Spencer Hall, his first team foul. Red Knights right now trying to take it to the basket. They're a really good outside shooting team, but nice spin move and a basket by number 24, Jalen Wilson.
Yeah, it was that nice spin move there.
Yeah, he's their leading scorer, averaging close to 20 points per game. Got an offer from the University of Northern Iowa. He also averages 7.5 rebounds per game. Foul on the drive as McAndrew is taking it to the basket. This one will be called against Abukita.
Well, you can see Benilde really extending their defense all the way out past the three-point line, which puts a lot of pressure when a player gets on an edge on them. They're going to get to the basket. Nice 5-second call. Good defense on the inbound.
Yeah, that time Spencer Hall had trouble getting that ball inbounded, and as you mentioned, great defense by the Red Knights. They'll get the basketball back, trailing by 3. Donley, guarded by Tibbetts. Tibbetts a good defender. You can see how quick the Trojans are to the basketball. They play very tight defense. Ball was tipped.
Yeah, nice tip by McAndrews. Good follow there by Wells.
4 in the game for Wells. It's now a 1-point game. Trojans take it down the lane. Ball was tipped out of bounds, last touch by the Red Knights, so Trojans will have the basketball back here with 13:55 to go in the first. Ball dishes out. Tibbetts for 3. Hayden Tibbetts has the hot hand so far early on. 7 points in the game. 10-6 Wayzata. Donley, Wilson. There's a 3 up off the iron. Good follow-up put in by Donley.
Just a great job finding the open floor on that rebound.
Some good three-point shooters. Kita averages 45% from 3, and Donley 39%. So they can hit from outside. Here's a drive along the baseline, and we're gonna get a charge. Nope. I think we'll get a blocking foul.
That's why Wayzata's known for that drive, penetration, and drawing the defense in and kicking that back out to the three-point line for open shots. You can see Benilde trying to stay at home as much as possible to limit those shots.
Ron Lee now in the game for the Red Knights. A couple subs for Wayzata. We'll get those for you in a second. Good follow-up rebound, and we get a foul on the Red Knights. Nice rebound by Spencer Hall on the miss by McAndrew.
Well, Wayzata's had a nice hot shooting start to this game.
So Christian Wiggins, a freshman, now into the game for the Red Knights, number 30. And Hall makes both free throws. 12-8 the score. Donnelly guarded by Tibbetts. Cuts to the basket. Got up in the air, got it into the corner. Shot missed, but again, a great follow-up.
By Daisy.
Oh, they kept it alive, and finally getting the basket was Jalen Wilson. But what a great job by Daisy keeping that ball alive. So.
Yeah, Wayzata's been giving up some offensive rebounds here.
And the three is good.
You see, Benilde had an open lane all the way to the basket there. Could have taken it to the hoop, but he knows that draws the defense and it opens the perimeter up for a three. And Andrews did a nice job of knocking it down.
Wayzata by 5. Jump shot is good. Jalen Wilson with his 6th point of the game.
Yeah, he's had a nice start to the game. He's got a nice stroke.
Tibbetts all the way to the basket. He's hard to stop, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got such a great burst of energy when he takes that first step past the defender.
So much fun to watch. Here's Wiggins for 3 off the front of the iron. Rebound was pulled down. That was by Hall. Now Tibbetts. Guarded a little too tight by Ben Schaefer. Sorry, that was Ron Lee.
Tibbetts is definitely a handful, and I think that's something, it'll be interesting to see how the Benilde defense adjusts. If he continues to get dribble penetration to the basket, if they start providing a little bit more help to push that off to the sideline.
First foul by Ron Lee. 14 fouls now for the Red Knights. Only 1 for the Trojans.
Looks like Tibbetts is getting a break here, so let's see where the points come from.
Well, that's where they're going to come from. Number 4, Benilde. Benilde, we've seen enough of those guys, the brothers.
I'm wondering if the Benilde factory is still, if there's more to follow or if this is it.
They've always been great from hitting from outside. Nice move.
Yeah, nice pivot in the post there.
Keita with his first 2 points of the game.
You can see Benilde's been successful getting to the basket and getting offensive rebounds. And they haven't gotten the three-point shot going yet.
We should mention they have a shot clock this year, but I don't think that even matters in this game.
There's a lot of talent on the floor tonight. You can tell, and I think no one's shy about putting the ball up.
Over and back violation. Schmidt comes back into the game. He'll replace number 24, Drew Nepstead. Jaleel
Donnelly's
Donnelly,
getting
he
gets a breather.
Gets a little breather for the first time tonight.
You got Ron Lee bringing it up here.
Wiggins, turnarounder is good.
That was a great no call there, I think. It was just his momentum that took him out of the play.
4-point game. Quick pass inside. Good defense by the Red Knights. Pass back out. The shot not good that time by Benilde. Back on the other end. Just off the mark. Wilson was looking for his 8th point of the game. Fast-paced action. We're going to get a travel against the Trojans. Not too many turnovers so far in this game.
No, it's been pretty crisp.
Yeah, we got 36 total points on the board. Still 9:25 to go in the first half.
You know, we're still early in the season, but I think, you know, we're enough into it where these kind of teams have got a sense of kind of who they are now. And you can tell both these teams are playing with a lot of confidence. Oh,
Good pass. Oh,
yeah. Great pass and a great finish.
yeah, Daisy was under the basket pretty far, but he was able to still get that ball up and over the top of the rim. Carrying the ball. So 2 turnovers consecutively, and they're going to have to bring Tibbetts back into the game. You can see a little bit of
Benilde's
couple turnovers.
Done a nice job of kind of hanging around, and they're getting those interior points. McAndrews is really the one with the size out there, but he's really a perimeter player.
Yeah, a lot of guards on this Wayzata team.
See, McAndrews got his hand in the passing lane there.
Yeah, you see Donnelly was not out too long. He came back into the game pretty quickly.
You can hear the Benilde coach imploring them to continue to move the ball quickly.
Schaefer tipping that ball out of bounds, so Red Knights have it, trailing by 2. They pretty much trailed this entire first half so far. Chance for the lead.
Another offensive rebound for Benilde.
Tough defense. They're going to call it a jump ball. So alternate possession. We'll give the ball back to the Red Knights. Colin Kirk, number 35, is in the game for the Red Knights as well.
Oh, you can tell Donnelly wanted that three-point shot there, just lost the grip.
There's a 3. It's good.
That was just a great open look and a nice job of Wells knocking that shot down.
7 in the game for Wells. Red Knights lead by 1. Pretty congested in the lane, but that didn't stop Spencer Hall from taking it inside.
Yeah, it was a nice strong move to the basket. You can see Wells' three-pointer there.
And Hall has the only free throws in this game, and 2 for 2 as he misses the first. Pair of 24s coming into the game. Wilson for the Red Knights and Nepstead for the Trojans.
Is that a pair of 24s? All right, we're all knotted up.
On paper, looked like a pretty close contest, and we'll see if it stays that way, Tom.
Yeah, I think that's what we were hoping for, I know. But I think, these are both 2 ranked teams with a lot of actually young talent.
Yeah, the Red Knights ranked number 5 in the Star Tribune poll, and Wayzata number 10.
And I think Wayzata's definitely gaining confidence after, starting the season 0-3 with some tough losses against good teams. And I think they've found their footing.
They did lose a player or two for the season to an injury, so they've been trying to make up for that loss.
Yeah, you can see the Benilde coach wasn't happy with Daisy there with a possession without a pass.
What a great rebound. Couple rebounds and finally put in by Spencer Hall. Good job crashing the glass by the Trojans.
Yeah, and they haven't gotten that many offensive rebounds this half like Benilde has, so maybe there's a...
That pass was saved right into the hands of Tibbetts. Good pass on the break. Almost a better finish, but couldn't get it to go. And Red Knights will come up the court.
Great no look. When you get a no look pass like that, you got to finish it.
Donley. Wilson.
Well, they've had a lot of success with Wilson this far.
There's a long three put up by Donley. Didn't go.
It's a quick release.
Right. And Tibbetts with the finish. 11 in the game for Tibbetts. Back to a 4-point Trojan lead.
I think the Benilde coach is going to ask for a timeout here. I think he wasn't happy with the last couple of possessions, so I think he wants to settle his team down and be a little more deliberate on offense.
We watched Tibbetts on that previous drive to the basket, did a nice left-handed layup. And, you know, I guess for the Red Knights, they got to get Donley's and Daisy going. They both have 2 points here early on, but both those players average 15 points a game. So sure figuring out how they can get them on track.
Well, I think, you know, they've taken some perimeter shots, and I think that's what both Daisy and Donnelly are looking for, is to start having some of those perimeter shots fall.
Just to tell you a little bit about some of these players, Jaleel Donnelly is top 25 point for the class of 25, the top point guard in the state of Minnesota. So pretty good there. And you have Jaden Daisy, one of the top rising juniors in Minnesota. And you have Abu Kita. He's ranked as the number 2 sophomore wing in the state of Minnesota. So for his class. So it's really promising for the Red Knights for the next couple years to come.
Well, yeah, and I think, you know, having 4 players averaging in double figures, it's, you know, how do they all share the ball and find their own opportunities to score?
Trojans up quickly on the miss by Wiggins, and here's a 3 high off the iron. Rebound for the Red Knights.
McAndrews is a great perimeter player, so I would expect to see more of those kind of perimeter shots. Well, that was pretty deep.
See if the Red Knights can get Wilson the ball here. Stolen away.
Yeah, that was a good strip by Benninga.
Looking to take it inside and unable to get the shot to go that time.
Yeah, it was a strong move by Hall, just
yep.
wasn't able to finish. But you can see Wayzata is really spreading the floor as much as possible to open up those drive lanes.
It just looks to me a little bit like the Red Knights are just a little frustrated here with the defensive pressure and that Wayzata is applying in this game.
Yeah, a lot of their points have come from second chance points.
Great pass inside.
Good finish by McAndrews.
5 in the game for McAndrew. 6-point lead again for the Trojans. Runners up in the state. And the steal for the Trojans again. Tibbetts looks around to see who's around him, and he takes it all the way to the basket.
Boy, that was a nice, you know, release and high off the glass to keep it away from the defender.
And you saw he looked behind. He wanted to make sure no one was from behind. He had time to just sort of figure out how he's going to get that one to go. And here's a 3, much needed for the Red Knights. Kita.
Yeah, Kita, he just caught that in rhythm, so it was just a natural motion to the hoop.
They said he's shooting 45% from 3-point range, so we got to see a few more of those in this game. That's a great percentage from 3. McAndrew spin move, and we're going to get a traveling call. McAndrew just wanted an explanation on that one and got it. Nepstead will check back into the game. He'll replace McAndrew.
Well, you can see Wayzata starting to put some full court man-to-man pressure on.
Tibbetts now taking a seat on the bench. And a block. Only the second foul on Wayzata in this first half.
That's been a pretty cleanly played game thus far.
Again, tough defense. Now they work it around, trying to get an open shot. It's going to be short. Wayzata with the rebound. Into the front court with 2:32 to go in the first half. They lead by 5, 29-24. The pace of the scoring has slowed down a little bit.
Well, that's what I was just going to say, that Benilde's in a little bit of a drought here. And I think the Benilde coach would like to see a little more ball movement on the floor for the Red Knights.
Benning with his second 3 of the game. Biggest lead, 8 points now for the Trojans. That was a good drive, but Daisy just couldn't get that one to go. Again, the Trojans just up quick. And
great drive by
yeah.
Great drive by Berkland there, knowing that he's too far under the basket and finding the cutting player to get the easy hoop.
10-point Trojan lead. Again, the Red Knights come into this game with a 7-0 record, trying to keep that intact. Here's a 3 from outside, won't go. Wilson. And the Trojans.
That was a good look. The Red Knights, their three-point shots just really have not been falling this half.
Tom, the Red Knights need to see something happen good here by the end of the half to get a little bit of momentum for the second half. But it's going to be tough against this Wayzata team. There's no foul called. Drive to the basket, and now we get the foul. So Daisy will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, it was a good job of Daisy to stick with it. There was a lot of contact as he came up the court there.
Only the first free throw attempts by the Red Knights.
You can see Kita's holding his shoulder for the Red Knights. We'll have to watch that as the game goes on here.
Also, there's a second foul by Habte.
We got a line change here for Wayzata.
One reason I stopped doing hockey was there were 5 players coming in at a time, and it was hard to keep track. Here they bring 4 in for the Trojans.
That prepared you for this.
Exactly. Pair of free throws by Daisy. We're under a minute to go in the first half.
I'd like to see Benilde continue to go to the hoop and put pressure on the Wayzata defense.
Oh, McAndrew did a nice move to get in and got the follow-up to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he got that follow-up to go. Good job following your shot. See if they try to hold for a shot. Doesn't look like it.
Look how good defense Tibbetts plays. Well, I'll tell you, Donnelly had a nice move to the side, but Tibbetts was not fooled. He was able to guard him to a tee. Down to 17 seconds, a drive to the basket. You see the shots are really coming tough for the Red Knights right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what they were doing on that possession with, less than 30. It's a rough finish to the half.
Hayden Tibbetts makes the shot.
Well, I think Wayzata, their ball movement has been so good, which really opens up the floor for open shots. So they've done a great job of spreading the floor, getting to the basket when they can, otherwise getting out to the perimeter for open looks. and they just feel like they're just one step ahead of Benilde, and really in the last 5 minutes.
Right, and Hayden Tibbetts, he averages 15 points a game. He has 15 here in the first half. So he's been a big difference maker, and again, you know, you see Tibbetts, Benninga hitting a couple threes. McAndrew really is a tough player in there with his size, and he was able to put up 7 points in the first half. You know, the Red Knights got 6 points from Jalen Wilson, but those came pretty early on in the first half, and he was held scoreless for most of the remainder of that first half. And then you know, Keita, he had 5 points. Caden Wells with 7. You had Daisy with 4 and Donnelly with 2. So it'll be interesting, you know, going into the locker room for Damian Johnson, how you're going to play against this Wayzata team, because they're scrappy. They play tough defense. They're very polished on offense. When they get down on the floor, they get down quickly, and they have a lot of weapons, you know. So, but this Red Knights team, they have a lot of weapons. They're just a young team, and so it's going to be interesting to see how this young team comes out in the second half, Tom.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think Wayzata puts a lot of pressure on your defense to scramble around and make sure people are covered, because as they spread the floor and drive, it forces you to provide help, and people need to fly around to adjust to that, so they're guarding the perimeter adequately. And it's tough. It's a tough challenge to stop. I think Benilde's going to have to score more than 26 in the second half if they want to get back in this. Most of their success came in the paint, but they're going to have to find a way to open up the perimeter and get some good quality looks from three-point range.
I agree with you, Tom.
Wayzata.
I agree with you. I think they're going to have to push the ball inside a little bit and then get it back out, because they do have those three-point shooters. But again, Wayzata has played really tight defense, not allowing some of those perimeter shots. So
right, and Benilde has been passing the ball on the perimeter and not putting enough pressure on their defense. They had some success right at the end getting to the hoop. So I'd like to see some more of that in the second half, of putting some pressure on that defense and kicking it out, finding the open guy. I think the other thing is Benilde, they started to get bunched up a little bit on offense, where they weren't spreading the floor as well as they could. And I think that's something to look for in the second half, is how can Benilde spread the defense out and create more openings for shots.
All right, we're at halftime here from Haven Center. Wayzata leads 39-26. Stay with us. We'll have more basketball coming up shortly.
If you go to a waiting room for the cancer clinic at Children's, every parent is wondering, will that next breakthrough happen in time to save my child? We have the knowledge, we have the insights from decades of research. We may be able to cure cancer with no worse side effects than feeling like you have a cold for a couple days. It's not a question of if we're going to be able to do this, it's just a matter of when. The quality of the medical care at Seattle Children's Hospital and the depth and breadth of the research community here will impact the well-being of children throughout the world.
Seattle Children's is working relentlessly to improve treatments for more than 200 diseases and conditions. And as one of the nation's top children's hospitals, we're not just beating the odds, we're changing them for all kid kind. Find a clinical trial that could change everything at seattlechildrens.org/clinical trials.
Halftime here from Haven Center, 39-26. The Trojans lead the Red Knights. And again, this Wayzata team has played very well. You know, they're led by Hayden Tibbetts. He's their leading scorer on their team, playing his 4th year at the varsity level. He's uncommitted, but he's talking to schools at various levels. They have Spencer Hall. He's his 3rd year on varsity, great defender, and is committed to Division III Emory in Atlanta to play basketball. You have Jackson McAndrew, has offers from Creighton, Wisconsin, Iowa, Northern Iowa, North Dakota. Jake Schmidt, he's uncommitted. Isaiah Hapte, uncommitted. Jake Birkland, scrappy defender, is committed to Minnesota Mankato for baseball. And then Benninga, you have,
He's not going to Moorhead State, is he?
no, but he's got Minnesota State Moorhead. He's got a couple brothers playing there. So
right.
And then Miles Barnett was a player we mentioned earlier that would be a starter on this team, but suffered a season-ending injury right before the season started. And he's a great defender on this team. So 39-26.
Well, I think it's going to be really interesting here and important for Benilde this first 5 minutes of the second half to put some pressure on the Wayzata offense, see if they can get some turnovers and some easy baskets to get back into this.
And McAndrew scores early on for the Trojans. For the Red Knights, it's Daisy, Donnelly, Wells, Keita, and Wilson for the Trojans, and we'll have that in a second here. Their lineup is Tibbetts, Schmidt, Hall, McAndrew, and Habte.
That was a great open look for Wells, just didn't go down.
Taking it to the basket was Hall that time, unable to get it to go. Red Knights into the front court. Come shot by Daisy. A little flat on that one.
Yeah, I was going to say he kind of rushed that a little bit where he just tried to almost kind of threw it at the basket.
Tibbetts, who had a great first half, has the basketball. He's got 15 points so far in this game.
Well, see, there's that drive and the kick out. We'll see if Benilde has an answer for Tibbetts here.
Yeah, one of the rare misses for Tibbetts. Red Knights on the other end quickly. Donnelly. Inside, no foul, but follow-up by Wells, and the foul now is called on the Trojans.
That was a great slash by Wells to get that offensive rebound, just to anticipate that coming off the rim.
Trojans only picked up 3 fouls in the first half. Picking up one early here in the second.
I don't think there were a lot of turnovers in the first half either. I think, both of these teams don't waste a lot of time before they shoot. There's not a lot of time to turn it over.
Yeah, there weren't. We saw a couple turnovers by Wayzata in back-to-back possessions when Tibbetts was out, but for the most part, it was a pretty cleanly played game. Pair of missed free throws by Wells.
Well, they need to find a spark. Now, they posted McAndrew up last time, so it'll be interesting to see if they find more success there trying to get him the ball in the post.
Missed shot by Hall.
Yeah, you can see Hall's had a lot of drives to the basket, just hasn't been able to finish. Oh.
Great moves by Wilson that time.
Just those pivots in the post are fun to watch.
He's not going to be denied. A little more ball pressure put on by the Red Knights now, and Tibbetts all the way to the hoop. That one rolls out. Red Knights trying to see if they can make a little bit of a run. Good pass. Follow up, not good, but foul as Jaden Daisy took it all the way to the hoop.
Yeah, I think they're starting to find a little bit of success of getting to the hoop, and they've been doing a nice job of passing on the interior. You can see Wilson's pivot moves in the post there.
Wayzata did not pick up many fouls in the first half, but Habte had 2, and now he picks up his 3rd. So he's in a little bit of foul trouble. Four for 4 from the line for Jaden Daisy.
Oh. You can see Benilde coming in with a full court press.
Yeah, you do that, and then Wayzata has numbers on the other end, but unable to convert. They missed a few shots here early on, and the Red Knights have closed it to within 10.
It was great defense by Wilson on
great pass.
A little bit of a late whistle there, but great. Yeah.
Yeah, you see Keita had great position underneath the basket. He was unable to get that one to go, but he was able to draw the foul, and that's number 4 on Habte.
Donnelly did a nice job of seeing him under the hoop.
Three missed free throws in this half for the Red Knights.
Yeah, I was just going to say they need to hit their free throws here in the second half if they want to get back into this.
So Keita 1 for 2 from the line. It's in 41-31 the score. Oh, it was almost a steal. And we get a block, but a foul is called. Probably the right call there. It's close.
Well, you can see that full court pressure by Benilde is starting to give Wayzata a little bit of trouble. I mean, I think the best thing Wayzata can do is get down the court and get some easy baskets to get them to take the pressure off. But so far, they've been able to force some turnovers, and really could have had a turnover there, but McAndrew did a nice job of getting back to it and finishing there.
I just have to say, if I've announced the scores wrong a few times, their scoreboard operator's having a little bit of problem, and they put the scores on the wrong way a couple times. So when I read the score, excuse me.
Got
if
a
I'm
few
wrong.
light bulbs out?
Yeah. 12-point lead.
You can see Benilde really wants to get to the basket.
Yeah, and Wells had a great opportunity there, just couldn't get it to go, and it's Tibbetts on the other end. Again, good job by the Red Knights as they seem to clog up the lane, right, collapsing in the lane. Becoming a little bit tougher for Wayzata to score, and that was not a good pass that time, just a little too far in front of the player. And we'll get a reach-in foul called against Wells. Second team foul for the Red Knights. For Wells, that's his second foul of the game.
Yeah, I think that was a tough, fast break. They just didn't have the numbers, and it would have been nice to see them kind of pull that back out and look for a quality shot.
Damian Johnson with a coaching moment on the sideline as Ron Lee comes into the game. Here's a three. Again, Trojans not hitting at the pace they were in the first half. There's an opportunity for the Red Knights to get back in this game, but they've missed a few opportunities, and reach-in foul by Tibbetts.
Yeah, I think he was just providing a little bit of help to McAndrew. I think that's when Donnelly needs to find the perimeter. Stay out on the perimeter. You can see Tibbetts comes down, and you want to pass that right back out to where Tibbetts came from, where he left his man.
Tom, what looked like was going to be there's that turnover, but what looked like was going to be a very high-scoring game in the first 7 minutes of the game turned out now to be more of a defensive battle and teams really having to work for their shots.
Yeah, we haven't seen the perimeter play other than that first 5 minutes. There you go, as I say it.
Yeah, Nepstead with 3. Yeah, again, this defense really has the Red Knights struggling offensively and forcing shots up too.
Yeah.
There's a foul.
Just a little piece of the hand.
Yeah, you can see it on both ends of the floor. It's a little bit different. You can see Wayzata is getting a little bit better shots. It seems a little easier on their end than for the Red Knights.
Well, I think they're doing what the Red Knights aren't. So, like that last drive for the Red Knights, you know, instead of driving it into the lane and kicking it back out, which is what Wayzata just did, they continue to drive into the teeth of the defense where there are 3 defenders. So it makes it challenging, one, just to get the shot off, but also to get the rebound when you're forcing the defense around the hoop. So it'll be interesting to see if Benilde can create that pressure, but also find the open player on the perimeter. I mean, that's really been Wayzata's MO for quite a while now, is that dribble penetration and spreading the floor and finding the open 3.
Right, 17-point lead now for the Trojans. So that's their biggest lead.
See that?
And that's what the Red Knights need.
Right, he occupied the defense, kicked it out for a nice open look where he can find somebody in rhythm. You can see Benilde also starting to take some chances defensively, trying to force turnovers.
And that was only the 3rd three-pointer of the game. We're going to get travel. So
Yep.
Turnover by the Trojans.
Yeah, Hall, just a little extra hop there at the end. See, Hall's had a hard time. He just came back down on that drive. Good defense by Wiggins just to keep his hands up, which forced Hall back down on the floor.
Back out for a 3. And a couple threes in a row for the Red Knights.
Yeah, great shot by Wiggins. Same thing, finding that open player on the perimeter.
Now the still a great pass. And the Red Knights.
Good finish. Good finish by Lee. You can see this. A little bit of a hand check, but you can see this full court defense is giving Wayzata some trouble.
I'm surprised that with 8 straight points that the Wayzata coach did not call a timeout there.
Yeah, I was sort of expecting that.
And again, you know, Tibbetts is just came back in. He was out for a little bit there, and so it seems like the Red Knights are able to take advantage when he's out of the game.
Yeah, and you can see the Wayzata is a guard-heavy offense now, adjusting to that full-court defense.
Hey, you see a little more spark in the step of the Red Knights, and we're going to get a traveling call against
just drag the foot a little bit.
Trojans.
You can see it, and it's going to be hard for Wayzata to drive because they're really outsized at the moment.
Nice pass inside Lee, back up top. They work it around.
Yeah, I thought that was a good decision by Lee. He was close to the hoop, but just didn't have the...
That time the lane opened up for Wilson. I think we'll get a timeout now.
They're starting to find some success here.
Yeah, so the Red Knights have scored 10 straight points, 48-41. They're coming back.
Well, I think it's the press is giving them obviously some turnovers, but you know, some easier baskets. And they're starting to find their players on the perimeter for some really quality three-point shots.
Last 3 games for the Red Knights, 70-63 win over Mankato East, 85-48 over Mankato West, and 74-64 over Mound West Tonka. Upcoming games for the Red Knights, they've got another tough one as they play at Edina, and then they play a tough Bloomington Jefferson team too. A Freitag, who's one of the better players in the state, and a week from Friday they'll be at St. Louis Park for intercity battle.
Those are always fun. You know, they're starting to get into conference play. Playing these late conference teams is so important to really play the highest caliber competition as you enter the conference. So these are just great tests for a young ball club.
So Wayzata coming out of the timeout. We'll see what seem to be moving the ball a little bit quicker. You can see the speed has picked up the tempo.
Yeah, you can see Benilde really trying to put some pressure defensively on the ball.
Paul likes to take it to the hoop, and he's had a couple second chance opportunities. He's able to finish there, and
Benilde's going to need to continue to find opportunities to score here and continue to spread the defense.
Maybe a tough shot that time.
Just
again.
Not squared up.
No. Had the defender right on him, so. I think Donnelly may be a little frustrated. He only has 2 in the game, but.
I think Tibbetts like that matchup against Wilson. Tibbetts is just a little quicker and can find a open shot facing him one-on-one.
So 4 straight points coming out of the timeout for the Trojans. They now put it up to an 11-point lead. Wiggins worked along the baseline but got trapped.
Yeah, I think Beninga got a hand on that, or Birkland.
The ball hit the sideline before it hit the Red Knight player, so it'll be Red Knights basketball.
See Wayzata coming back in with a little more size here.
Yeah, McAndrew and Schmidt back in for the Trojans.
Well, Benilde made a nice little run in there to cut that deficit. And Wayzata's started to kind of stretch it back out again. So we'll see here if Benilde can find some opportunities for some easy baskets.
8:48 remaining in regulation, and there's not a good pass, but a good save by Kita. Now Kita, and they're gonna get a charge at his elbow.
Yeah, just kind of lowered his elbow to clear some space there.
Actually, shoulder. And again, they were doing such a good job where they were working it inside and then dishing it out and hitting some of those threes. And now they're just taking it back to the basket again. Had a 2-on-1, but elected to pass it back out top.
You can see Hall really looks to find opportunities to drive.
Yeah, McAndrew with the left-handed layup.
Good finish there.
Back to a 13-point game. Again, a tougher shot, but Daisy getting it to fall. 11.5 for Daisy, and that was a good pass by to McAndrew, but McAndrew wasn't looking, and McAndrew said my fault to Tibbetts. So.
Yeah, and I think Wayzata's found some things on how to break that press. Benilde got away with one there, but it'll be interesting to see if Benilde keeps that press on.
Up top for the three, in and out by Daisy.
Halfway down.
Jumper off the front of the rim. Trying to get the lead to single digits, and it's taken away. Hall. And the foul on Lee.
You can see Donnelly's showing some signs of frustration. Continues to look over at the coaches on the bench. I think he's used to a little more success.
Right. He averages 15 points. He only has 2 tonight.
Wayzata's guard play is so strong, and they're so deep that they continue to bring these kids in that are just putting a lot of pressure on the Benilde guards.
Oh.
Good box out there by Wilson.
3 for 6 in the game for Spencer Hall from the line. Spin move, and couldn't get it to go. Jalen Wilson. On the other end, a missed shot. So a few misses here. Red Knights back into the front court. A tough move that wouldn't go.
Well, you can see they're starting to, they haven't really run their offense the last 3 or 4 possessions.
There's a steal by the Trojans.
And
Hall
Benilde
last
just
second.
looks a little out of sorts.
Yeah, Hall all the way to the hoop. And
Hall was just a little out of control going the hoop there. You can see he's consistently looking to try to get to the basket.
that's the offensive foul called against Hall. And a timeout on the floor, so 6:22, the Red Knights are going to have to make a quick run here. They trail by 11.
Yeah, I mean, I think, that little run that they had earlier this half, they can clearly put points up quickly, but they're starting to run out of time.
So Wayzata has a tough schedule ahead as they head out to St. Michael Albertville, and then they come home for a game against Hopkins. That will be a fun one to watch. And,
not a lot of cupcakes on that list.
Yeah, you got Edina's a tough team, Champlain Park. Eden Prairie is having a good season again. Minnetonka's always tough. Eastridge is a tough one. Buffalo is having a good year right now, and again, you get St. Michael Albertville. So yeah, that conference is a tough conference, and that will be the test. But it helps you get ready when you get to the section. So
yeah, I mean, you can tell that Wayzata, their preseason schedule is strong, and they're used to playing games like this against quality teams. Even for a team that lost 3 seniors, they look pretty confident in kind of what they're running and what they're doing on the floor.
this is a good good game for the Red Knights to have on their schedule. Great learning experience. You play against a tough defensive team like Wayzata. It can only help you as the season progresses.
Yeah, and I think, right now on paper, it looks like Benilde is kind of the class of the Metro West. But you got to prove it on the floor. So you're right. These are important games for building confidence and learning about your team. There's a great finish on by Wilson on the previous possession.
Yeah, you get a little streak going and you feel like you get a little confidence, but then you got Tibbetts on the other end and he just spoils it for you.
Yeah, they're at a point where they can't trade baskets with Wayzata anymore. They need to find ways to get stops and some easy baskets.
Lee with the 3 from outside.
They've been so successful when they pass it out to the perimeter.
Red Knights hanging in there. They cut it to single digits. It's an 8-point game. You got to get some stops, though. There's one. There's a break.
Great recognition by Donnelly to find Daisy for the finish, or Lee, excuse me.
Yeah, Lee did a good job not to try and do anything fancy. Just get that layup. You need the points. 6-point game. They got the crowd riled up, but look who's the stopper on the other end.
Yeah, he's been so consistent tonight, and it seems like he's getting whatever shot that he wants. You can see for a senior, he's got a lot of confidence.
So this is foul that's number 6 on Wayzata. So we're gonna get both teams will be in the bonus on the next foul. And that could, free throws could play a little bit of a part here. 58-50.
Yeah, I think Benilde needs to continue to attack the basket and find those open perimeter players. It'll be interesting to see if Wayzata gets to be a little more methodical on their offensive possessions.
Almost turned it over that time.
Oh,
inside and a good finish.
What a great pass by Donnelly there to just hang in the air until his teammate became open.
58-52.
Well, you can see Benilde really extending the defense out, trying to force some turnovers.
The volume in the gym is picked up with this crowd, and the steal for the Red Knights have a chance to cut it below 6 here. Nice pass and a finish.
Oh, yeah, great finish by Wells. And just a nice job cutting to the basket.
Now a 4-point game, 58-54, plenty of time, 3:44 remaining. Pivots, he's gonna take that jump shot, misses, rebound by the Red Knights.
Tibbetts expended a lot of energy taking care of the ball there.
And we're gonna have a foul called, jump ball.
Hall did a nice job of getting a hand in there to tie it up.
Well, Red Knights will have it on the alternate possession. And we're gonna get McAndrew back into the game for the Trojans.
You can see Benilde is really starting to push the pace a little bit more. And it'll be, they're gonna need to continue to execute at that kind of higher pace.
They trailed at 1 point by 17. The game is now a 4-point game. Looking inside, this is Wilson. Spin move by Wilson. Shot just a little hard off the glass.
Yeah, he really wanted that one. Just forced it a little bit.
Now the Red Knights got to get back on defense. Still plenty of time. We're down to 2:53. Only a 4-point game.
It'll be interesting to see here if Wayzata. Yeah, you can see coach wants to, I believe, just be a little more methodical on their offensive possessions to get quality shots and use the clock.
And again, you see the conference, Benilde with a 7-0 lead, but have not played any conference games yet. So, and I'd say in this conference, it's Benilde's to win here when you look at it. But Orono has a really good team this year, and Orono's ranked also, I think, in the top 10. So I think Benilde and Orono are the leaders. Jefferson with Freitag should be up there. Chaska's always pretty good. So.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a different conference. Cooper was always a challenging place to go. It looks like, Benilde should be thinking about a conference championship. And those circle those dates with Orono.
Yeah, and the Orioles in a rebuilding, St. Louis Park rebuilding with a couple sophomores. They have good future, it looks like, for the Orioles. Almost a steal, and Red Knights have it. Good spin move. And a foul. So great job by Ron Lee, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Yeah, Lee's been a little bit of a spark plug for Benilde, and he's just got very quick hands, and he's been able to kind of be involved in a number of turnovers. I think it's hard for McAndrew at his size to have a scrappy guard.
Again, the Red Knights not making those free throws could cost them dearly here.
Well, you can see that last possession that Wayzata was trying to be a little more methodical, and that's the double-edged sword of trying to use the clock, but also opens the door to turnovers.
We're down a one-possession game. This is a young Benilde team against a very veteran Wayzata team, and there's a big three.
I think McAndrew has been waiting for that all game. He's been pretty cold from the perimeter, so he was due to hit one of those.
18 in the game for McAndrew. Still plenty of time. Red Knights don't have to rush here. And we get the foul on Wayzata, and Coach Nettler did not like that one. He almost came out to center court when he saw that.
I'm not sure Hall liked that one either. There's McAndrew's three. You see Wilson was really trying to put a lot of pressure on the defense, just attacking the basket. Hall did a nice job of getting in there and trying to force the turnover.
61-56, 5-point game. Got a 2:07 left in regulation here.
Well, let's see if Benilde comes out with a full court press here if he makes this. Looks like they're on a man-to-man defense.
They are taking them at full court though. Kivitz, he draws the foul. He had a little bit of a smile there. He knew.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the art of the head snap. Yeah. See, there it is. Has done. You know,
see the smile.
It definitely draws the attention of the referees. I know Lee was upset with that call, and I think that's going to be it's tough to play that tight on a veteran player like Tibbetts. He's had such a nice, consistent game from start to finish, kind of setting the tone for Wayzata.
Got 22 points tonight for Tibbetts.
Which is just what you want your senior to do, right?
Wayzata not letting the Red Knights turn the corner. Oh, that was a tough one. I was gonna say maybe that was an ill-advised shot, but he got it to go. Wide open on the other end.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge with the full court press.
Again, they're just throwing them up now.
Yeah.
Good pass. There's a good play.
I think they're going to call a charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daisy just a little out of control going to the basket. I would have liked to seen him.
Pass
if you
it out.
see, yeah, he's got Lee's screaming at him. He's got a wide open three, and instead he goes to the basket and draws the charge.
And a three comes in handy when you're down by 6 too.
No kidding.
Let's see if Wayzata tries to just take a little time off the clock. They're a great ball handling team. They can just pull it out if they need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get the high percentage shot, and they do right there.
Yeah.
Under a minute.
Benilde just hasn't been able to come up with the stops when they need them.
The three from the corner, a little too much on that. And you got a foul, and just probably not the guy you want to foul is Tibbetts. And the fans start heading for the exit.
Well, it's nice to have a guy like McAndrew on the team. You know, he provides an important interior presence, and to have kind of finishes at the end of the game like that where you can get an easy basket.
You know, the Red Knights, they fought back. They closed the gap. They looked like they made a game of it in the second half. But again, the veteran leadership on this Wayzata team is just it's shown here at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought, you know, they had it down to 3, I think, and they just weren't, you know, Wayzata just kept scoring, and they just weren't able to get the stops that they needed. I think Tibbetts, you know, just does such a nice job of being able to find open shots.
25 points in the game for Tibbetts. And the 3 is good.
Yeah.
Well, that's Donley's first 3 of the game, and we were waiting for that one because he's a great 3-point shooter, almost shooting 40% from 3.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, in the second half, you've just kind of sensed that he's been frustrated. And I think, you know, Wayzata's guard play puts a lot of pressure where you might not get those open threes that you do in other contests. And so that frustration's shown a little bit. And I think that's the challenge moving forward for Benilde is how do you find those quality shots for those perimeter players?
Right.
But I think, as you said earlier tonight, I mean, it's just a great learning experience for both of these teams to play a quality opponent. And you can tell, you know, there's a lot of talent on the floor tonight.
Yeah, when we look at the Lake Conference that we mentioned that Wayzata's in, you have Buffalo 9-0, Eden Prairie 7-1, Hopkins 9-1. Then you have Edina at 5-4, Minnetonka 5-2, and St. Michael, Albertville 6-3. And you know those teams have faced some tough opponents, and they still have great records.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Wayzata at 5-3, you might look at 5-3, go, oh, they're kind of having a down year, but that's not the case. You know, obviously losing 3 seniors is something that they need to adjust to, and it seems like they've adjusted. But you know, all these Lake Conference teams, they have to schedule quality opponents to be ready for their conference. And don't let that 5-3 record deceive you.
Well, if you foul someone, you foul Spencer Hall. He's 3 for 6. He's missed his last 2 free throws.
Usually that shot goes down after you say something like that.
I think my jinx capabilities are about 50% of the time. Pair of misses.
They need a quick shot, quick 3 here.
There's the
That's
3.
short.
Short was a tip. And they're going to say it was tipped.
It was tipped.
20 seconds remaining, 69-62. Damian Johnson will take a timeout, try and drop a play, which most definitely will have to be a 3-pointer. Trailing by 7.
Yeah, they're going to need something quick. I'm sure they're going to try to run one of their perimeter players through some kind of trap to free him up on the perimeter.
Yeah, Tom, in Wayzata, if you do foul, they're in the double bonus, so they'll be shooting 2 free throws anytime they get fouled now. You don't have the advantage you have in the NBA when you can call a timeout and take the ball at half court.
That would be actually great innovation in high school basketball to allow that.
Well, you know, little by little, they've got the shot clock in play. And I don't even think I've looked at it this game, the shot clock.
No. I mean, usually you hear like guys on the bench when it gets low start counting. I haven't even heard that.
3 by the Red Knights and the rebound Tibbetts, and you're gonna.
Tibbetts, right place at the right time.
And again, if you foul someone, the one player you don't want to foul is Hayden Tibbetts. 4 for 4 from the line, 25 in the game. 13 seconds remaining.
I think, one of the things that's really an advantage for Benilde is they just have a great kind of complement of size and speed. They have some really nice guard play. They definitely have some players with size like Wilson, and continue to find opportunities for Wilson to score consistently.
Yeah, just a launch three, and they might as well just let the time go. They're going to foul. They play down to the wire, and they foul on Wiggins. Will give McAndrew 2 free throws.
Well, and it'll be interesting for Wayzata as they get into conference play and start to see teams with veteran big men, how kind of McAndrews steps up against those larger big men.
Right, because they don't have a lot of, it's really, they've got great guard play, but they don't have the height that some of these other teams may have. But again, they play hard, they play good defense, and you're right, it'll be interesting to see how he does stack up.
Yeah, I think he's a kid with a lot of talent, and they really use him on the perimeter. I mean, he took a number of threes today. But it'll be important for them on those nights when those threes aren't falling that they have a interior presence. But overall, just a really quality game. I thought Wayzata came out, set the tone early with Tibbetts, hitting shots right at the beginning, and they really, whenever Benilde tried to make a run, they were able to kind of gather themselves and control the game. So I think overall just a really fun game to watch, great crowd. Fun to be back in this seat with you, Bruce.
Yeah, it's been great, Tom. And again, as I mentioned, you just haven't lost it. You got it still. You do a great job analyzing and picking up things that I could never pick up. So thank you, and you've been great. I'll go over the scoring before we take off here.
Yeah, as you're doing the kind of final tallies on that, I think for Benilde, it's going to be as they enter conference play, they're going to be rated, to win a lot of their games, or favored to win a lot of their games, and it's going to be continuing to kind of keep that focus, share the ball. I mean, with 4 players averaging over 10 points a game, they're going to continue to need to share the ball and find everybody opportunities to score. But again, circle those dates with Orono. I think those are going to be fun games.
Yeah, they will. And so recapping the scoring real quick here before we head out is Hayden Tibbetts, the leading scorer in the game. He had 27. Jackson McAndrew with 22. Those are the 2 big scores. You had Benninga with 8. Nebstead had 5. Spencer Hall 7, and Jake Schmidt 3 for the Red Knights. You had Jalen Wilson with 14 points, Caden Wells with 11, Daisy had 11, Ron Lee had 8, you had Keita with 6, Donnelly with 7, and Wiggins with 5. So again, a great, you look at it and it's again, tough loss for the Red Knights, but a good learning experience against a veteran team, and again, this may help them along the way. So
yeah, I think it's a long season. They got a long way to go, and they'll grow from this.
And an impressive win for Wayzata as they now their record goes up to 6-3. So final score here from Haven Center. The final score is Wayzata 73, Benilde 62. On behalf of Tom Whitlock, I'm Bruce Overman saying so long. Have a good night.